Welcome back to the Rocket Coaches Corner on the Rocket Productions Network. I'm your host, Matt Browning, filling in for Hayden Swope today. If you've missed any episodes of the Rocket Coaches Corner, go find the Rocket Productions Network on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, or any place you listen to podcasts. All of our episodes are also on the Rocket Productions YouTube channel. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and hit that like button right now, and be sure to check out Rocket Productions on Instagram and Facebook. Let's get into it with head wrestling coach Chris Saferite. Coach, how's it doing?
Good. Glad to be here.
I tell you what, I thought it was yesterday we were playing golf with the Men's League of Derby, and now it's December 6th, and we're wrestling already. It's unbelievable how fast time goes.
It's kind of that way every year. It goes super fast. You kind of have the fall sports, and at times it kind of drags a little bit, and then bam, here we are. It's almost Christmas.
It's unreal. And then once your season gets going, like you tell me, you blink and it's over too. No time to breathe, basically.
We try to tell the kids the same thing. Once we start competing, we have something going on every week. Usually 2-3 events, sometimes more than that, including the JV boys and the girls. And then we hit Christmas break. We've got a little bit of time to kind of recoup and kind of get rejuvenated. And then once we get back, it's every weekend until the end of February.
Well, let's talk about Valley Center. At the time that we're recording this, we took first at Valley last week, and I know that how you are. You're competitive. You want to win everything, and that's something that's just instilled in you. With that being said, did we wrestle above your expectation going into that?
That's a tough question to answer, because obviously my expectation is pretty high. I would say that it was a great tournament for us to start. There were, I think, four top 6 ranked 5A teams there. We didn't see any high 4A teams, but out of those 4 5A teams, they're pretty good. They're solid teams. And we went in. We were a little undermanned. We were short a guy or two. So really what to expect, I didn't know for sure. We took 14 kids to that tournament. We took 12 varsity kids. We took 2 extras. And out of the 14 kids that we took there, we had 11 of them in the finals.
That's really good,
man. That was the good part. Now the bad part is, as a coach, and what we see and what we understand is, out of those 11 that we had in the finals, we won 4.
Right.
So there's definitely room for improvement.
My dad, we've talked about this before, he was a high school basketball coach for 30-some years, and he always told me that when you have expectations, like I know we do, based on how we performed last year and who we have back this year, that expectations are you want to embrace them, but at the same time, though, don't hammer them home too much with your kids. What's your philosophy on that? Because your kids know that we've got elite dudes, we've got depth too. We are ranked number 1 in the coaches poll right now. So how do you manage those thoughts with your kids?
We talk about it every day. There's the expectation that we put on them. There's the expectation, just kind of around the school buzz that is on them as well. And then they have their own expectations, and they have their parents' expectations and family expectations. The expectations they're there, and they're real, and they're big, and we talk about it. We have a bullseye just right square on our chest. I mean, we are right now, arguably number 1 all class, number 1 4A. So with that comes the expectation. Now, we can either use that as a positive fuel and use that to keep going in the practice room. Or we can also take it and look at it like, oh, we've proved something already, and we don't need to work very hard, and people are going to just lay down for us, which I know that's not the case.
Right.
That's not the case.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
But trying to get it in these kids' mind that we're going to get everybody's best week in, week out, and if we're not ready to go, somebody's going to be there to try to dethrone us, and we got to be ready to fight. We got to be ready to battle. That's
got to be exciting though, because you'd much rather be the person or the team being hunted than being the hunter, because that means you've established something. That means you have a program that people want to chase after. That's got to be, when you talk to your kids about that, that's not a stressful conversation. I wouldn't think. It's an exciting conversation, right?
It is, and we've been the hunter, for, in my eyes, we still are. We haven't won a state championship yet.
Right.
But we've been the hunter for, this is my 4th year being here, and we've actually talked those exact words, being the hunter, and being the hunted. Right now we are on top. We are being the hunted. I would say that, it's probably easier to be the hunter than the one to be on top and you're being
Yeah.
hunted because
Yeah.
there's only one way to go when you're trying to climb to the top, and then once you get to the top, you're there.
Right.
So
And staying there,
yeah.
that's the hard part too.
Are you
Yeah,
satisfied
yeah.
with that?
Right.
Being there, or are you ready to go prove something?
Yeah.
And I still feel like we got plenty to prove. Our kids are doing what they're supposed to be doing. We're trying to push them every day as hard as we can. I think they're trying to push themselves as hard as they can, and see if we can still be on that plateau at the end of the year.
We have so many elite dudes. I mean, we could take the whole podcast to talk about all your elite guys, but what I think is really impressive about our team is the depth that we have. We talked a couple weeks ago, it might have been last week, about the challenge matches that you guys had,
Yep.
because there's a lot of guys at several weight classes that could be a varsity wrestler. So my question to you is, how much do you value that, and you and your coaching staff value that depth every day? Because, when you get to those backside matches in the state tournament, those mean something to your points.
Absolutely. I've kind of joked about it a little bit in the practice room, just as late as yesterday. We've at the 106-pound weight class, we've had 3 kids ranked in the last 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
So, and that's not just being ranked in in the 4A, but that's in the all class
Yeah.
rankings across the state. And there's battles that go on in the wrestling room. As a coach, it's something that you can't take it for granted, because
Sure.
there's not many teams that have that. Kind of unfortunately for me in a way, one of them is my son.
Yeah.
And I want what's best for him, but I also I'm the coach of the team, and I want what's best for our team as
Right,
well.
right.
So to have those battles in the classroom, and it's not just 106. It's there's a couple other weight classes, and we have a couple other kids right now that are injured that when they come back, they're going to add to some of those battles in the practice room. So, to answer your question, it's a good problem to have. It is a little bit kind of stressful at times, just because that you have a couple kids staying home that at the end of the year in February, they could be at the state tournament.
Right.
They could be competing for that state
That's
medal
unreal.
right now.
Yeah.
And, they just have to wait for their opportunity.
When we come back from our break, we'll talk to Coach Saferite about the December schedule, which is loaded, as well as postseason aspirations. We'll be right back.
At Happy House, you can experience the rich Chinese flavors right here in Kansas, all prepared with love and care. From dumplings to Chinese donuts, Happy House got something to satisfy every craving. Head down to Happy House where happiness and deliciousness collide. To contact Happy House, call 316-776-7888.
The Rose Hill Rec Center was founded in 1973 and is located on South Rose Hill Road. The rec has a gym, basketball court, and also has courses for Taekwondo, lots of different activities and events throughout the year. You can contact them at 316-776-9880.
Welcome back to Rocket Coaches Corner, with head wrestling coach Chris Saferite. Coach, we had Valley Center, which is a good tournament. We have Douglas coming up, which is a really good tournament. And then we have to deal with Andale. That's welcome to your schedule, right? My goodness.
Yeah, no, it's good. Unfortunately, I can't lie about it. Andale's down right now.
Have some
they're
injuries,
hurt.
right? Yeah,
They've got some injuries from football. Kudos to them and their football team and what they do. Unfortunately for the wrestling team, the wrestling team seems to kind of suffer a little bit at the beginning of the year, just because the football season is such a grind for them.
Right.
And they usually make it, far in the playoffs. However, with that being said, are we always looking forward to go compete against Andale? Absolutely. They're usually top of the class year in, year out. We've battled them the last couple of years for a league title, and they've been some good duels. And so we're obviously always looking forward to that, and we're ready for that competition. We're ready to take them on anywhere, anytime.
Yeah.
With the Douglas tournament this year, it's the first year getting into that. I think that we're looking forward to it. There'll be some good 4A teams there. There'll be some good 5A teams there. It'll be a good mix. I think I read something somewhere just yesterday. I think there was like 6 top 10 ranked teams there. So
That's good competition. Good battle.
It's good competition.
Yeah.
There's, I don't know, I think it said somewhere around 38 to 40, state ranked kids there. So, like I said, we're practicing and trying to prepare ourselves to be able to put our best foot forward every Saturday, and come later on in the season, it's going to be Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays.
Right.
So, we do have a lot to look forward to. We have 2 more competitions, and then we lead into that, Christmas break that we was talking about just a little bit earlier to kind of rest and recoup a little bit, and then we hit the ground flying again.
We'll talk again, or you and Hayden will talk probably in January or February, and I'm sure we'll have a better idea of where we stand compared to other teams in 4A. Last year came up short, and so I'm going to ask you this question now with a kind of wide lens perspective on it. We get to late February again, and is it state championship or bust for you guys, considering what your roster is right now? I don't want to put that kind of pressure, of course,
Yeah.
but is that your kind of your mindset at this point?
No, that's a fair question and an honest question, and I'll answer it honestly. Yes, I mean we expect a state championship.
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to be given to us? No, it's not. Are there other teams out there that are going to compete and going to battle for it? Yes. With all that being said, too, we've got to be lucky. We got to stay healthy. We got to have kids that buy in. They're competing, week in, week out. Stay healthy, stay there, be ready, and then come February, I see it as there's going to be probably 4 or 5 teams that are all kind of competing there for it, and we came up short last year.
Yeah.
It hurt,
Mm-hmm.
It hurt a lot of us. It wasn't what we had planned. It wasn't what
Right.
we had visioned. And, so again, it just adds a little fuel to the fire. And come February, hopefully this time, most of our kids have been there. They've had that feel.
Which helps, certainly,
And
right? I mean,
it has to help a lot.
Yeah.
But again, with that, there's the expectation of it. So we've got to learn how to kind of handle our nerves and use all of that stuff as positive energy and not negative energy.
well, listen, good luck the rest of the way before Christmas. Stay healthy. I'm sorry you get the B team today. You can get Hayden coming in there with her professional self, but hey, you can't win them all, right? I mean,
Always nice coming in and talk to you too, though.
thank you for watching and listening to the Rocket Coaches Corner on the Rocket Productions Network. On the next episode, we'll be joined by head swim coach Rob Roach. And remember to subscribe to the Rocket Productions Network on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, and any place you get your podcasts. If you're not already a subscriber to the Rocket Productions on YouTube, please subscribe. Until next time. And Hayden Swope, who has 105 temperature right now, please get better, and we will see you next time on the Rocket Coaches Corner.